So this is gonna be my video for my art exhibition, and I'll just be talking like normal, like how I normally am, and I'll be explaining what my painting is about, my inspirations, the development, and yeah. So I have 3 projects. I didn't work on a 4th project, and I'm still currently working on the 3rd project, which I will show a little montage of that, and that's mainly it for this video, so let's get on to it. So this is my first project. My first project was supposed to be a film because I thought it was for the final project, which we would show in the art exhibition, and I wanted to do like a full film, but we weren't able to do that and we had to just do individual projects. So I ended up going into embroidery because it was something that I was starting to get interested in, and I was trying to take inspiration from a photo that I took in like a small cafe. I forgot the name of the cafe, but I'll just put it here. And yeah, I used little techniques that I tried using all of the techniques that I learned from the internet and from watching YouTube videos and put it into one thing. And this was the most simple technique, but it took so long and wasted a lot of my thread, because even at the back you can see how much thread it actually took. Because like with this one, I used a different technique that used less thread and saved a lot more thread, and it looks very smooth, and I don't know if it's focusing, but yeah, I did like a little floret technique with my roses, and I was hoping to add more roses on the side because in the actual photo it has a lot of roses here, but then I didn't have any more time because I wasted my time planning for the film, and instead I just put it in the embroidery stuff. Yeah, so I just ended up painting it with watercolor, trying to make it look like a little pond. And when I first finished this, I completely hated it. I hated it so much because it wasn't what I imagined. It's not what I wanted it to be. But I'm proud of myself because it's basically all of the techniques that I learned by myself into this one, and I hope to add it into like a little business that I want to make, and maybe you'll see that soon. I don't know, but yeah, so this is my first project. Really a learning experience, but I'm just proud of myself for accomplishing this much and learning so much from this project. Okay, this is my second project, and out of all of the projects, I'm pretty proud of this one. I really love this one. The thing that I did is I used acrylic paint mixed with embroidery, and again I got to use the techniques that I used in my other embroidery thing into this one. And it was the first time that I ever learned how to draw hands properly, and I got the help from Byfern and Nietzsche. And honestly, I was so proud when I actually got the hands into the thing that I didn't want to paint it or anything. I just wanted to keep a sketch. But you know, I had to go on with what I envisioned, and I'm proud of it. I'm so glad with how it like turned out. So I think that there's people who look at it can interpret it in a different way, and I remember talking with like Kush and like a few other people on like how they see this my project and stuff. So what I envisioned is that since this project was about change, yes, the project topic was change, I envisioned this person as like it letting go of the past and letting go of all of their insecurities and all of their bad parts and just letting go of that, and that makes them become like a changed person that is flourishing and living the best life. And it's like how I think of it, it's just like they've been holding on to this part of themselves that shouldn't be with them anymore, and they finally let go, and it's still reaching out, but she's just like, it's okay, I'm letting you go. But then other people could think that like this hand is trying to get this person out of this dark spot and, you know, bring them into the change and make them a changed person. The techniques that I use is I actually use a sponge, like a dish, like washing sponge, and like sponge it all over the place so that it can make like a smoky bomb kind of thing. And this part, I actually use my hands. As you can see, it's like I use my fingers to create the smoky effect of my hands. And if you look closely, there's I specifically like made marks so it looked like hands kind of squiggling down. And I honestly really love how the texture looks, and I really like how acrylic paint looks when it's still like chunky and like just dried up and everything. So that's why I kept it. And then I did a little bit of a Jackson Pollock you know, vibe technique. Yeah, and I put like little white spots that added a little bit more dimension, and I really like it, and I'm really proud of this thing. The only thing that I would want to change about this project is that I feel like this thing doesn't make sense. I feel like the embroidery should have been on the hands because all of the darkness is coming from there, and then the hands should also be like from here, but it adds more color onto here instead of leaving this completely white. And also I should have added like maybe like a blue sky or like a change of different skies when in the background, because some people say that it looks plain, but honestly I genuinely really like how it looks, and it kind of looks like a heart, so maybe you can even add some little romance into this. Fanfics. Some of y'all know what I mean, but yeah, this is my second project for change. Y'all can do it. Okay. Anyways, so this is my third project, which is the self-identity project, which is obviously my self-portrait. Anyways, yes. And basically it's me, and I wanted to really represent the Filipino side of myself, which is why I drew the sun of the Philippine flag on my face to really show that I identify with the Filipino identity that I express sometimes. But yes, yeah, and this is the dress that she's wearing is a Filipiniana, which is the traditional wear that Filipinos used to wear, and the one that I particularly added is the derived from Spanish, because when Spain, you know, hit history. And I try to, I just really like, I spent so much time on the face that, like, I think I took like a month and a half to really get the face right, and I still worked on it during the like when we went back to quarantine and such. And this is actually the first time that I ever did a face, and I try to do myself so I wouldn't like hurt anyone else's feelings if I mess their face up badly. I already never mind. But yeah, I think the one that took the most time was actually getting the skin color right and also getting the nose right, because now I realize how much the nose frames the face so much and how important it is to actually have the nose on point. But yeah, I think I did pretty well with the nose, even though in some angles it looks really weird. But then I think it's just my eyes just being like, that's not how my nose looks like. Bro, why did I do that to myself? But anyways, yeah, I wish I could have added a lot more, because I feel like a lot of my personality also is that I don't know, like I have a self-identity crisis like every like 2 months or so. So I should have added a little bit more of that, because I wanted to add some more Thai features into it, like maybe some of Thai jewelry and stuff, but I wasn't able to add it. And hopefully maybe I could work on this again and add a little bit of some. But honestly, I'm pretty proud of like how it looks right now. And like if I, you know, and then the other part is my little fantasy fishbowl, which is basically supposed to represent my mind and how I see things, I guess. So I honestly love color, and I love the fantasy world of fairies and mushrooms, and you know the Carter's cards. Like look at my outfit, I look like a grandma. Yeah, but I wanted to add little characters of my favorite characters from anime, from Animal Crossing, and just generally people that I admire. But details, I don't think I'm good at small details, so I just imagine they are in the little mushroom homes that I created for them. And when I was doing this, I didn't originally think this, but I thought of Tinkerbell vibes. Tinkerbell, because I grew up watching Tinkerbell and I love Tinkerbell. I think I really loved Rosetta. Yeah, I think Rosetta I really loved, and I wanted to envision that with the trees. So like all of the trees have different colors, which represents like this particular fairy or like the group that they're in. Stop showing off, sir. Okay. Yeah, and I tried adding a little waterfall. I kind of covered it with another mountain because I failed miserably because I didn't practice, and I just went and I was like, oh, a big regret. That's not how waterfalls look like. But yeah, it's like my little Ferris ball of fantasy. And yeah, this is like my little cabin house, which I look over everyone. Kind of inaccurate because this is the biggest mountain, but this is me, and I have a little frog, and I wanted to add more frog features, but yeah, this is basically it. Just a self-portrait and just a bowl with all of the things I aspire to have in my life, which means yes, running away to a forest and living in a cabin. But yeah, that's mainly it. Identity project.